So we're going to be doing 5 spooky tutorials on how to add that extra spooky edge to your video. Alright, so we're in Movie Studio 16 Platinum, and the first thing we're going to do is delete this picture-in-picture track because it's going to get in our way. So we're going to grab the picture-in-picture track and delete the track. We're going to go to Project Media, and we're going to drop in the clip that we've previously shot to do this effect on. So some tips about this shot. I'm going to drag it onto the timeline. It's going to ask me if this is the base for the rest of the media for the timeline, and I'm going to say yes. So you can see here I have a background, and then I walk in on the same shot. What this is going to do is it's similar to the ghost effect that we've just done. It's going to let me utilize the background and cut things out of it without feeling like anything's missing. To do that, you have to film just a background, a significant portion of just a background, and then when you film your subject, you can't move the camera at all. So don't touch the camera or don't do anything. The camera can't move one fraction of a millimeter. Otherwise, the effect will start losing its gracefulness very shortly. So I'm going to hit S to cut out between the background area and the part I'm going to use. I'm going to kind of crop in here on a part where I kind of mosey my head around a little bit. I'm going to arrow through with the arrow keys to see if that's the part I want. And right there, I do some head motion. And so this is the section I'm going to be showing you. I kind of move to the left and then move to the right. So I'm going to drag this up above, so it's on the track above the source track or the background track, which is just nothing, no subject. And I'm going to delete this audio track. Just right click and hit delete track. And it's going to be worried because I'm deleting both of these audio things, but they're useless to me, so I'm going to say yes, that's fine. And now those are gone. I'm going to drag this above, and I'm going to shrink this clip below to any part there, it doesn't matter. And now I have a background behind this, so if I lower the opacity you can see it matches up perfectly, and that's the ghost effect again that we've just covered. But this is going to be a bit more intricate and fun because we're about to use Bezier masking and motion tracking to make my head float. So the next thing we're going to do is go to the video effect, and you're going to go to Bezier masking, and you're going to drag that to the top clip here. At the top clip you're going to open up general masking options, and you might need to make it bigger so you can see what you're doing, and then go to masking, and then these are the options that we'll be using for the Bezier mask. First, you need to change it to oval, not rectangle, because you want the crop and the cut to be as close to what you're tracking as possible, in this case our head. So there we go. Kind of move in until it kind of cuts my head off a little bit, then move it back out. I don't mind getting some of my collar. I'm actually kind of doing a bust track there of my collar and face. To do that a little better, we're actually going to go to this feather style here, and we're going to go to out. That way I can feather it without losing any, without keeping the crop tight on my head, without losing it in my head in the feather. And that's going to kind of give me that ghosty floating head effect. Kind of tighten it in just a little bit more and kind of put it right on my nose. Now, one thing I should have mentioned is you need to start right here at the front of your clip. So you can see where the cursor is. I'm going to move the cursor right to the very front of the clip where I'm going to start the motion tracking. So if you've not done that already, do that and then kind of center up your crop right where it's going to start, because this is where the motion tracking is also going to start. So once you have that, we can open up this a little bit more. We can drop down tracking. Now in Vegas Pro you got a lot more tracking options, but you can still do some basic tracking in movie studios. I would suggest, since it's movie studios, you plan your shot to be kind of gentle motions, no extreme motions, because Vegas Pro is going to be more apt to pick up on extreme changes, while movie studio is going to do gentle motion tracking. You'll have to do more corrections in movie studio since it's not the more expensive software with more expensive motion tracking. So this location, we're going to change that to location and rotation. I've found that to be the best use for tracking a head. It seems to do the best in the software for following the head perfectly. And then we're going to hit start. And right here you can see just off the scroll wheel here, it's actually creating a whole bunch of keyframes where it's tracking the head. So I can make this a little bigger, and then you can see all these keyframes, and there's a little bit of motion in the keyframes where they wiggle up and down. That's good. That means it's probably working. I'm going to move this to my other monitor so we can see what we're doing. Let's arrow through with the arrow key the clip and see if it's tracked it. Seems to have tracked it very well. I'm very happy with that track. So that is how to motion track. There is another tutorial I have for motion tracking in Movie Studio 16 Platinum. I would like for you to check that out. And it's also got motion tracking text and stuff like that, and then another tutorial which is linked. But those effects are similar, but this is specifically how to use it to create a spooky floating head effect or for head tracking. So I hope this is able to help out your spooky project that you've been looking for. I do lots of Vegas tutorials, not just specifically spooky ones, but more practical ones as well, and less practical ones too. Anything really that we have time to do. So like if this video helped you out. Subscribe if you're looking for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This has been Adam with Tech Dive AV Club doing Movie Studio 16 Platinum.